Once upon a time, there was a little boy called Howard who loved writing stories.
Little Howard dreamed of being a writer, and so he sat and wrote every night. But everything he wrote was fucking shite, yeah. Wubba-dubba-doo, wubba-dubba-doo. Worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world. He's a stupid, suck-ass, rubbish writer.
All right, are you ready?
I was breakfast ready. I was breakfast ready. I'm not going to try and be funny this evening because I'm not. No jokes now. From now on.
Looking forward to it, everybody. Okay.
Oh, it was breakfast. Oh. Yeah, good one, Howard. Fucking idiot.
See, the great thing about a good Howard joke is you don't only get the joke, you get all the self-hatred and flagellation afterwards as well. So you get to enjoy it twice.
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome to the worst writer in the world with me, Rufus, and my toasted, buttery, you eat him in the morning friend. What are you?
A toast long?
Your breakfast.
I'm breakfast
Your
long.
breakfast. This week is not only one Howard short, but two Howard shorts. A pair of Howard shorts, you might say. So let's get straight on with it, shall we?
Yeah, let's put on my shorts.
All right, so this story is called It's Only a Game. So in the margin, it has a list of names. Right, and at the top it says gang. So this is a list of names of the kids who are in the gang, right? Gang. And we have Jay, Ken,
Good, honest names.
Jack, Dave, James, and me, brackets Howard.
Well, hold on a second. Where's Gary Glitter? Isn't he in the gang? I thought he was the leader
He's
of
the
the gang.
leader.
Yeah.
He's the leader of the gang at this point. This is before he got sacked as leader for being a terrifying international paedophile. So, here we go. The first word is just the word dares, ? Ooh. So that's how you start your story, straight in. Like, thesis statement, one word right at the beginning, dares. Yeah, dares. That's how it goes on. Dares? Yeah, dares.
So this isn't people speaking.
No, this is the prose.
This is just the prose having a conversation with itself.
Okay. But the fact that you are in it probably means it's going to be first person, right?
Well, I'm in it.
It's an internal narrative. Dares? Yeah, dares. You know, like, I dare you to show a moonie out of the window. Yeah, I dare you to show a moonie out of the window. Go on.
Yeah.
Show a moonie. What are you doing? I'm showing a moonie.
Showing a moonie.
What are you showing the moonie? Oh, I'm showing this banana. Why are you pointing that banana at someone's arse? Oh, I'm just showing a moonie.
Interesting, that was my example. You know, anything really. Anything, like getting your bum out, that kind of thing. Specifically.
Getting your bum out in a way that I don't know how to describe for some reason. Especially after we just learned who the leader of this gang is.
That makes a lot of sense.
Double terrifying. Yeah, Des, like showing a moonie, getting your knob out, touching the leader's penis. Normal Des. Like I dare you to show a moonie out of the window. Or I dare you to walk on the road dodging the cars.
Wow. That escalated, didn't it? Getting your bum out or getting run over. Oh, okay, Gary. Yeah. I see what you're doing here.
Yeah. I'll give you a choice. Yeah. Go on, two choices. Get your bum out, let me have a look at it. Or dead on the road, bleeding.
Yeah. And that's like all the choices of that. It's like, okay, so the choices this week are show a moonie or jump off of a 10-story building.
With your bum out.
Yeah.
All right, I guess I'll show. Are you sure it's called show a moonie? Because I feel like that's wrong somehow. Yeah. No way, Jay. Why not? No, this is a conversation, but with no speech marks, and separating the conversation is commas. So it's dares. Yeah, dares. Like I dare you to show a moonie out of the window, or I dare you to walk on the road dodging the cars. No way, Jay. Why not? It's only a game. But it's dangerous. Chicken. Long is a chicken. Chicken. Howard Long's a chicken. All right, I'll play. But if anything goes wrong... ... Nothing will go wrong. John. Nothing will go wrong. I think there's a comma, but I think it's John. Come on. I'll dare sissy so. Stop calling me that name. All right, if you jump the mine pit.
Okay, right. So
Who's John and why is he involved in this completely mystifying conversation? There's already just this sentence fragments separated by commas with no concept of where the speech begins or ends or who's speaking. And suddenly someone called John gets name checked. I have no idea who that is or why is that. Just like he just arrived and Jay went, John, and then carried on speaking.
Come on. Do you know who John is? Everyone knows who John is. Oh, Doctor Who. What am I doing here?
Just a staple of Howard Long stories. Is there someone called John in this story? No, but I just had one of my characters say the word John out of nowhere to make up for it. So I guess it's not Howard. No, he says he had Howard Long's a chicken. It is you. I was going to say maybe it's Jay talking to John. But Jay says, chicken, Howard Long's a chicken.
Yeah.
But then he says, if anything goes wrong, nothing will go wrong, John. Is he just calling you John?
No, it's because the next person that spoke, the previous person...
But there's no one called John in the list.
Well, you know for a fact.
There's 3 people with J names, but none of them are John. Jay, Ken, Jack, Dave, James, and Howard. Right? It is just you using the word John because you realise you hadn't put a John in this story, and you just it's like you had a little Tourette spasm, like you John, and just wrote it without realising.
I mean, judging from previous things we read, this would not be the first time that I decided to change someone's name halfway through.
Come on, old dare sissy, stop calling me that name. All right, if you jump the mine pit.
Wow.
Now, I don't know if anyone's ever seen the entrance to a coal mine. I'm assuming it's a coal mine because we grew up in a place called Coalville that was full of coal mines. But I don't think you can jump that on your BMX.
No.
What you're doing is riding into a pit and dying. All right, I'll stop calling you sissy if you die in that hole.
Yeah.
Right? That's what Jay is saying.
Yeah, I think that also I've misunderstood because there's not just a hole that miners kind of go down.
Also.
There's a big tower at the top of it, with a big lift and everything. There's not a hole you can just jump. So I think he's got to jump an entire kind of building. Yeah. All
right, I'll stop calling you sissy if you can Superman over that building. That's a bit much. All right, I'll give it a go. Splat. No, couldn't. Anyway, the dare is you've got to jump over a mine pit. And if you do that, here we go. If you jump the mine pit, I'll stop calling you sissy socks.
Ah.
Grr. I'll do it. All right, to the pit. And also, this is on the same line with no punctuation. It just goes from, all right, to the pit. We eventually arrived at pit. So from dialogue with not only no speech marks, but no full stop, straight into the prose. We eventually arrived at pit. Now, here's where this gets confusing. All right.
Oh, now it gets confusing.
Yeah, because you know how I thought I'd worked out who was who? Well, I hadn't. Because we eventually arrived at pit. Sissy socks, brackets, James. But I thought he was talking to you. He definitely was, because he said, Howard Long's a chicken. All right, I'll play. But if anything goes wrong, nothing will go wrong. John, not James. John, come on, old dare sissy sock. Stop calling me that name. It's like, what? Who are you daring, Jay? Sort yourself out.
Maybe John's my nickname or something.
Who's James then?
Is he in the cast list?
James is, yeah. John isn't. Yeah, there's no John anywhere. I think you just made a mistake and actually accidentally called James John because you were trying to use a different name. You're like, I've used John too many times. I better use a different name. I'll use James. John. Whoops. Didn't notice. Mr. Cotton didn't notice because he's not paying any attention to this. So I think what it must mean is that Jay is all like, let's play a game of dares. Howard goes, no, dares are dangerous. And Jay goes, you're a chicken for not liking dares. Then switches his attention to John Stroke James, who is one person, right? And says, right, John James, I'll dare you, and we all know your nickname is Sissy Socks,
Yeah.
right? Well, that's well established and not in the least bit confusing. I'll dare you to jump over a mine pit. All right? And John James says, yeah, I'll do it if you stop calling me Sissy Socks. And then Howard picks up the narration and immediately calls him Sissy Socks. So we eventually arrived at Pit. Yeah, Mr. Cotton didn't correct that because that's right in Coville.
Eventually arrived at Pit.
Sissy Socks, brackets James, took a run up and leapt over, well, almost over the pit.
Shit.
He landed with a crash on some broken glass.
Oh, no.
He ran off crying.
Oh.
So he did make it over just onto some broken glass. So he can fly. It's just he landed badly, right?
I don't know. It says he almost got over. So, I mean, almost got over means he didn't, right? So I think he fell down the pit and landed on some glass.
And then ran off into the pit, into the mine tunnels, crying. Ah!
Yeah.
Oh, well. Oh, so he's dead then. All right, moving on. So he landed on some broken glass and he ran off crying into the underground tunnels. Jay, Ken, and a couple of the gang shouted, "Cry, baby!" But James wasn't bothered. He carried on running because, I mean, he's basically got to live underground now. He might as well get used to life down there.
Like, I've presented a dangerous thing, like jumping over a mine pit.
Yeah, you've presented jumping.
Yeah, and then once it happens, I'm like, yeah, he gets hurt by some glass. It's like, not really logical storytelling, that is it?
It could have just been any form of jumping, shouldn't it? Like, I dare you to jump 3 inches to your left. Oh no, glass!
Yeah, I dare you to jump over this pile of glass, you know.
But that would have stolen your twist. You know, your twist where you go,
think it's a
he jumped
twist?
down a mine, but then he wasn't in a mine, he was on some glass. Twist.
Ah, I see, yeah. I started twists early.
Jay, Ken, and a couple of the gang, considering the number of people in the gang, that means all the gang except one person, so I guess it's just not Howard that does this, shouted, "Cry, baby!" But James wasn't bothered. He carried on running. "He's out of the gang," said Jay, and took out his pencil and pad. Because he's an organised gang. Gang was leader or, assistant leader because the leader's currently in Thailand.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not the leader. He's not cool enough to be the leader if he's just going to start making notes immediately.
Wait for it, because there's a picture of this piece of paper. And it's the top of the piece of paper. It says Leader J.
Oh.
So I guess they find out about Gary Glitter and sacked him. Second, Ken. And then you've got Dave, Howard, James, and Jack. And James has been crossed out because he's out of the gang because he fell on some glass and is useless now. And he lives underground. You can't be in the gang if you live underground.
He jumped over the pit, though.
Yeah, he did. Onto some glass. But Jay's all like, oh, you did something impossible and cut yourself badly and need the hospital. But then you ran away.
Yeah, stay here and bleed if you want to be in the gang.
Ken said, "Let's play hide and seek."
What?
All right, said Jay.
Oh.
Ken and Jack and I hide, you two seek.
That's not how hide and seek works.
They ran off giggling. Ken shouted, "Count to 50. Dave and I were always last. Brackets and James, but he was out now. "Come on," said Dave. "Start counting. After we get to 36, we split up looking for them."
Why 36? He just said count to 50. I mean, yeah, cheat by all means, but I mean, like, what's the relevance?
Got a very, very specific idea of how to cheat, right? Listen, check this out. Come here, come closer. Don't want anyone to hear my genius fucking plan. They might steal it and, like, patent it or something, right? When we get to 36 and a half, right, we'll split up. I found Jack, but he ran off, so I chased him. But we were in the woods, so I lost him. After some time, I bumped into Dave. He said he'd seen... This is interesting. This is like a description of a fucking game of hide and seek. Wow, I looked behind a tree. No one was there. I looked behind another tree. No one was there either. Then I saw Ken, but he ran off.
I don't think they know how this game works. When you play hide and seek, you don't like have 3 people hiding 2 seek. You have 1 seeker for a start. That's just standard rules.
And when you find
them,
people,
they don't run off.
That's
They're
the
found,
end of yeah. It's not tag.
Yeah.
So Dave said he'd seen Ken. I told him I'd seen Jack. We decided they were cheating based on the fact that we'd just witnessed it. But, I mean, you were cheating too. You only counted 36. We went the ways we hadn't been. I arrived at Mr. Fitzherbert. Brackets the wizard.
This is Howard getting bored of his own story, right?
Yeah, thank God. So was I. I was doing like 8 lines of describing hide and seek. And you're going, shit, this is boring. Right, wizard. Hello, it is me, a wizard. Actually, it says, I arrived at Mr. Fitzherbert, brackets, the wizard, well, he acts like one.
Oh.
I could see someone on the roof. Wow, that's some next level hiding. Climbing on a wizard's roof. Wow, well done.
Yeah. I mean, where is this house? Is this a house in the woods? Is it just a small cottage or something?
Well, it did say you're in the woods. It hasn't mentioned whether it's made of gingerbread yet, but I suspect that's why someone's up there eating the chimney.
Yeah. What do you think it means when it says he acts like a wizard? Like dresses like one and
does magic.
Yes. So that is a wizard.
That's how
right?
wizard. That's the one unifying act of wizards, isn't it? Doing magic.
The wizard, well, he acts like one by casting all those spells.
Yeah, turning children into dogs and stuff. Yeah. I could see someone on the roof. It was Ken. He slipped and fell to the ground. I ran to him.
Yeah.
He said he'd broken his legs and arms. No, I've broken my legs and arms. I mean, he fell off the roof. It's amazing he survived at all.
Well, that's just why I'm asking, because I don't know how tall this house is. Usually when it's in the woods, it's like 1 story, like a bungalow or something.
And it's surrounded by mattresses, you know.
He must have been like, I mean, what kind of... I don't know, how do you need to land to break your arms and your legs? He must have gone down like a cat.
I mean, on all fours,
He was thinking he was a cat. He was like, if I act like a cat, I'll be fine. Yeah, but he wasn't.
No, I've broken my arms and legs. I'm not a cat after all. But actually it says, he said he'd broken his legs and arms, but I reckon he was, brackets, I took out the dictionary, exaggerating, spelt drastically wrong. Took out the dictionary, ignored it. Now, nowadays, obviously, you can take out a dictionary. You've got a phone in your pocket which has easy access to dictionaries on it. But when we were kids, that wasn't the case. Because if you had a dictionary in your pocket, that was a massive book.
It really was big.
So, little Howard, the reason he's kind of like slow on catching these people in hide and seek is because he's carrying a full reference section of a library around with him, in case he needs to use a big word wrongly. I reckon he was exaggerating a bit. I ran for help. I met Dave, brackets again. He told me that he found Jack in a poacher's trap.
Wow.
Well, 2 traps. Yeah, I found Jack with a trap on his foot and another one on his head. I don't know how he got caught in them. Probably put his foot in the first one, started flailing around, and accidentally went in a second one. Right? That might happen, I suppose.
Possible, unless you got 2 legs in one and two arms in the other. Dave's like, yeah. He's broken his arms and his legs in poacher traps.
No, he's stolen my thunder. I wasn't even telling the truth. So he found Jack in a poacher's trap, well, 2 traps. He said that he was dripping with blood. I found Jack bleeding to death. I just left him. I just left him. I went, found you, and then I went off to find the next person, you know. He's dead now.
Yeah, at least he got run away like before.
He was dripping with blood. I told him about Ken. We went to get the police and the ambulance. Good, okay, that's good. Because, can you come and arrest my friends?
Well, he was trespassing on that roof. And I guess if the poacher's laying traps, then... Oh, no. Is a poacher legal?
No, the word is
Yeah.
means
But I mean, I
criminal,
suppose
right?
you would use the traps on your own land if you owned the land.
But then you wouldn't be a poacher. Unless he's famous for preparing eggs in a particular way, and
Yes.
and it turns out he's not a wizard. He's just,
Yeah.
but he's really, really obsessive about one particular way of cooking eggs, and so everyone calls him the poacher.
Yeah, or there could be someone called Alan Poacher who lives next door to him.
Hey, watch out for Alan's traps.
Yeah,
Okay?
and
Watch out for the
Beryl
Alan's-
Poacher, because she puts her trap out as well, and that's why he's in 2 traps.
Maybe he lives between. Maybe his house is pinioned between 2 other houses,
think
right?
so.
And there's Squire Alan Poacher on
Yes.
one side and Squire Fallon Poacher on the other.
Yeah.
And they're always putting traps out, and kids get trapped in them. So I told him about Ken. We went to get the police, and the ambulance stood there, lights flashing. The 2 bundles, Ken and Jack, were loaded on. We told the police about Jay. They made a search party and went looking. So, are Ken and Jack dead or just very broken?
Well,
It says bundles like they're.
Ken
covered
was
over.
able to say that he'd broken his arms and legs, so he was definitely alive, wasn't he?
Yeah, but instead of helping him, you got your dictionary out. Started looking up words to tell him he's lying. Just got my dictionary of gaslighting.
Yes.
I've got to look up. Right, okay, you are wrong.
I mean, maybe I got my dictionary out and beaned him to death with it,
Yeah, okay,
since he
that makes
couldn't
sense.
fight back.
Turns out this game of hide and seek the rules are a lot more sadistic than a lot more Hunger Games than we gave them
Yeah, I
credit
can't believe
for.
I invented Hunger Games. And Stephen Moffat read this story and then made that.
All right, so the next day, 19th of January, no sign of Jay. The next day, 20th of January, woke up, watched A-Team, went bed. No. Woke up, watched A-Team and other things in bed.
Yeah.
Jay died today,
Yeah,
went bed.
Went bed. Yeah.
No, it doesn't say that. 20th January, still no sign of Jay, but police found his notepad. They gave it to Dave and I, and it's got a picture of the page again, which says leader, Jay, and then all the other names are crossed out this time.
Wow.
So Jay has just decided no one's in the gang, except him. And I say, Jay, that's not a gang anymore. Right? Just you on your own with a bit of paper, not a gang. Doesn't qualify.
What does that mean? At what point did he go like, "Ugh, I'm going to cross everyone's name out now"? Did he know that the other ones had broken their legs and been murdered by poacher traps?
I don't know.
Was he watching?
I don't know. I guess we're going to find out, because then it says, we were out, and no doubt Jack and Ken were. All right, I thought that was going to be more illuminating than it was. All right, no, don't worry. The next line's going to explain everything. Oh, no, more confused.
I know what happened. Basically, nobody ever found Jay, right? And therefore, he was like, if you can't find me, you're out of the gang. So he crossed out their names and then, like, didn't need the
Went to live with
didn't need the
squirrels.
notepad anymore, so he tossed it away.
Yeah, all
He
right.
didn't need to keep track.
Well, the next day says 21st of January, still no sign of Jay, which supports your idea. And then it says, oh, is that...
What happened to that wizard, anyway? I was really excited when that wizard turned up.
I think there's a massive time jump here, because I think this
Ooh, I
may
like
be set in
jumping.
the year... I think this may be set in the year 3728.
Wah!
Because I kind of ignored at the beginning, it says, before the list of gang, it says date 3728. And I was like, well, that's not a date, I'll ignore that. That's just some confusing numbers. I won't even mention that. But then I've noticed the next section is 15th of July, which already is 6 months more, but
Happy
it also
birthday
says 30...
to me. Happy birthday to me.
It also says 3789.
Wow.
So I think 50 years have passed.
Wow.
I think the next entry is 50 years later. All right, so we're probably going to see a maturation in the style of writing as well,
Okay.
to
Oh, yeah.
demonstrate that this is now an old man.
Come on, I just want to check. I mean, is the wizard going to turn up at any point?
No.
Okay.
No.
So, okay. It's
Sorry.
good. Actually, to be fair, it's just as well, because I don't know a dwarf called Titch, so...
You could be in trouble.
Yeah, could be in serious trouble.
If you don't understand that reference, then you haven't listened to Time Pig, which is available for free by going to manbycow.com/timepig. I think that's probably correct,
Yeah,
right?
that's definitely correct.
Seems likely. All right, so 3789, 15th of July. Happy birthday to Howard. Went for a walk in the woods. Came across the pylon station. guess what? Found Jay. Brackets dead. He was in a little locker. Obviously, he couldn't get out, or he waited a bit too long. Double exclamation mark to show that's a joke. He was dead, ha ha, bonk.
Yeah, he was just there for like 50 years going, I'm sure they'll find me any second now. I'm so good at hide and seek.
I'm king of hiding. Skeleton Heidi Man, they call me. Super skeleton Heidi Man. Oh, well, I thought. Should...
Yeah. How did I find it? Didn't the police have an entire search party looking for this guy?
Yeah,
and also, if he was accidentally
cupboard,
and if he was accidentally locked in the cupboard, wouldn't he have been going, "Help! Oh, I'm trapped in a cupboard"?
Yeah. No, because he thought he was playing hide and seek.
Yeah, okay.
And when he heard the police outside, like probably calling his name, he was like, "No, I'm not gonna fall for those simple tactics and reveal that I'm locked in this cupboard, starving to death.
Yeah.
Then I'll lose the game."
And they didn't look, but I did. 50 years later, decide to open a fucking pylon cupboard or whatever.
Yeah.
At risk of death.
Then it says, "Oh well," I thought. Should have played Dares after all. Oh, because that hide and seek was an alternative to Dares.
Right,
after James John
Scaredy socks.
got glassed to death and had to live underground.
Yeah.
I mean, they both seem like bad games. Maybe you could have played Monopoly, right? It's 37, like 28. You probably could have played some amazing virtual reality, immersive computer games. If you really want to jump over a hole, you could probably do it in the safety of your own, brain.
Well, it was very forward-thinking of me to know that they would have mining, coal mining in 30...
Have big holes and jumping
Yeah.
and hide and seek and wizards in the future. Because nothing about that story was in the future, was it? It's just like you just went, I'm going to set this hundreds and hundreds of years in the future for no reason.
Yeah. What, because people get their pads and paper out, people still carry dictionaries around everywhere in the future. Then there's coal mines.
And then there's a picture of the list with all the names crossed out now, because we need to revisit that. And then it says the end, in brackets for some reason. And Mr. Cotton has written "good story!" exclamation mark, which I think proves that he's a liar.
Watch out! I just have to wonder what other people were turning in for me to get that response.
Yeah. No, I mean, at the age of 11, it probably is fair to compliment this. And would you like to take a stab in the dark and guess what score out of 20 you got for that story?
I mean,
consider how much you got for the others and the kind of comparative quality between this one and I don't know, for example, Smith and the Gate, The Mystery of the Locked Room, Mr. Quackers and his fucking automatic frying pan cleaner, Daft John, all these stories that you got 19 out of 24, and whatever that one was that you got 18.
Okay, yeah, but the thing is, like, although this story was, at its heart, very poor. It carried a moral, and it had a kind of like
what moral?
The moral of like you should play Dares.
It's better if one kid dies than four.
Like,
is that the moral?
What it was saying is, the moral about dead, and also it's got that brilliant kind of like motif of the gang diminishing.
Yeah.
So
it's got a motif, really definitely.
It's just not been written well, but if it had been handled by a good writer,
well, I enjoyed it.
I don't want to guess at 19 because I just really don't think it's worthy of that. So I'm going to go
17.
Oh, okay.
It is absolutely 19 because he didn't read your stories. He just went, "That's long and has words in it." 19. Well done, Howard. I think that probably is not something that a lot of teachers do. I mean, teachers are, certainly now, but I think even back then were overworked and stressed and miserable. And a lot of the time they just like scan things like that, go, "I know that kid, he's pretty clever, he's good at English, just give him 19.
Yeah.
It probably deserves it. And like most of the time it kind of does, if not more. It's like, that is give him 19, why not? It's not good for the kids who aren't so good, because if they do a good piece of work, they'll still get a 3 because he's doing the same thing to them. You're rubbish and stupid and poor. Your parents don't have a lot of money. 3 out of 20. Howard, 19.
No, I disagree. I think that what he did was he would read mine several times to check that it was brilliant before he gave me a 19.
That is another option, definitely.
But just to save time, he just wouldn't read the poor kids' books. And he'd just give them 2 because he'd be like, they're definitely rubbish. I don't need to read it.
I believe that second part of what you're saying. I think that's definitely true.
I don't think what I just said at all, obviously. But I think you.
I'm going to edit this bit out so you sound terrible.
No, I think he totally. No, because I just had a thought. Because I think he totally would have skim read like anything I did. But I think he would have paid great attention to the people that weren't that good, just so he could lay into them and say really mean things.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
He would do loads of. He would do lots of corrections in like Robert Woodward's book, I imagine.
Oh no!
And then like
awful.
give it him a 3 and say, "Stop being so poor, fat, and stupid."
Stop being so poor. We live in Cobra where everyone is fucking poor, but you are just offensively poor. Stop being more poor than I am.
Stop eating those Aldi beans.
Get a higher class of beans. Look, I brought my Heinz in just to show you what they look like. You got to aspire to these beans. If you do better English compositions at the age of 11, you might one day buy expensive beans. So anyway, I'm going to read this other very short thing because that was a bit short. So this is from 2 years later. That was the beginning of middle school, about the age of 11. This is from the end of middle school.
2 years later than
about the age of 13.
3079?
Yeah, exactly. And this is called Desirable Qualities.
Whoa.
That's the title. Mm-hmm. Who knows what it could be about? Number 1. Extremely good looking and a great body.
Why were we given this as a task?
No, that is fucking weird, right?
Is this Mr. Cotton again? It's like, I want a list of like dirty things I can like perv over.
This is when you had that cover teacher, Mr. Glitter.
Yeah. When he was going, like,
when he was on holiday, Mr. Glitter took over.
Yeah, and he hoping that someone would say their desirable quality was a bold old man. A bold old man who's the leader of a gang.
Imagine Mr. Glitter. Mr. Glitter, you want us to write what?
Just write down what you look for in what you look for in an old man. What?
All right, what's your perfect partner? All right, girl. Oh, damn it. Fuck.
Out, detention.
Because this says, extremely good looking and a great body, I wouldn't go out with an ugly girl, would I? This is what you have written at the age of 13 when your teacher told you to write a list of things you'd look for in a potential partner. I mean, we're making jokes about Gary Glitter, but this is really bad, right? Why did Mr. Cotton get you to write a list of things you look for in a partner?
I don't know.
You're 13. What you look for in a partner is someone who's good at doing exercises, because that's what partner means. It's someone you work with at school. Someone who's clever and therefore knows the answers to the questions. No, when I say partner, I mean sex partner. What sex, Mr. Cotton? Number 2, mature.
So Gary Glitter's happy with that one. I get a tick for that. Not so keen on the first one, but yeah, that's better, yeah.
Mature, bald.
Oh no, actually the first one.
In prison in Thailand.
The first one, I'm getting 2 ticks from Gary Glitter because I've said I wouldn't go out with an ugly girl.
No, but I would go out with an ugly old man.
Yeah. He's still in with a chance at this point.
No, number 2, mature. I wouldn't like to go out with an idiot. I mean,
why do I do these things?
2 idiots in one relationship is just asking for trouble, isn't it? I wouldn't like to go out with an idiot. I mean, the thing is, Mr. Glitter, or possibly Mr. Cotton, whoever marked this, made a comment on that one. Mm-hmm. And the comment is too similar. And I don't know if he means like that an idiot is too similar to you. Like, opposites attract. Yeah, I can see you wouldn't want to go out with an idiot because that would be too similar to what you are. Uh-huh. But I think he means to number 1, I guess. I wouldn't go out with an ugly girl. I wouldn't go out with an idiot. He's like, no, too similar. Not hugely offensive. But no, not stretching yourself enough. Number 3, a sense of humour. Dash, I don't like dull people. And that one got a tick.
Hooray! Yeah, because that's, because you probably should have specified before we started that we shouldn't be, like, basing it on looks.
Yeah,
We're looking for compatibility and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So So no, I think you did mean. I think you did mean that with an idiot. Yeah, you couldn't go out with an idiot because you are one. You know.
Yeah. Number 4, intelligence. I would never go out with a completely brainless girl. But he hasn't written too similar there. So that one got a tick.
Hey.
I would never go out with a completely brainless girl. No problem with that one. Mr. Cotton is okay, yes. He's saying, nor would I. Number 5, not shy. I can't stand shy people. And I've got to say, I feel a bit attacked by this. Right?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, at the time, I mean, still to an extent, but at the time, and throughout the time that I'd known you, I'd been very, very fucking cripplingly shy.
Yeah, but
So
it's
I feel
okay.
like what you're saying is you don't want to have sex with me.
Yeah, you should be happy. You should be very happy at this point.
But it says it doesn't say I don't want to fuck shy people. It says I can't stand shy people.
Yeah, but I'm just letting the ladies know that I want someone who's a total goer. You know, I want a goer. That's what I'm looking for. Someone that's not afraid to sleep with lots and lots of people.
What it should say is I don't like people who are shy in the bedroom. I mean, it shouldn't say that. You were 13.
It should do.
Number 6, friendly.
That means having sex, right? Someone who's willing to shake hands with my penis. Friendly.
Number 6 is friendly, and the comment is I don't like cruel people at all. So you're seeing those two things as opposites.
Yeah.
If someone's not friendly, they are cruel.
Yeah.
If someone's not coming up to you and shaking hands with your penis, they're at home torturing puppies. Number 7, honest. When people lie to me, I tend not get on with them. Tick, no correction. Just a tick, that one. The thing is, I think he's definitely stopped reading it after the third. I think the first three were so disturbing, he was just like, yeah, tick, 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 whatever, I'm not reading this, it's horrifying. But the rest of it's not as bad. Oh my God. All right, I take what I just said, I take back, everybody. I spoke too soon.
Why?
Number 8, sexually open. And I'd like to remind everyone, although Howard is a terrifying and weird old man now, this was when he was an innocent 13-year-old boy being told to do this by his teacher,
Sexually open.
who ticked this one as absolutely fine.
What I'm saying is I want an open relationship. Someone that's willing to engage in threesomes, foursomes, key-swapping parties, that kind of thing.
Maybe. But I would say, I don't want to get into what it means to a 13-year-old. It's horrifying.
Yeah,
Just the
someone
thought
that's
is horrifying.
Anal. It means that, doesn't it?
13-year-olds, and I know you don't know this because you wrote Forget-Me-Not, but 13-year-olds not actually particularly into sex.
They are.
They
This
might
proves
talk
it.
about it a lot, but they don't actually. No, but they talk about it a lot, but they're all like, "Are you a virgin? Ha ha, you're a virgin. I'm not." They're like, "Yeah, we all are."
I think that this article that I'm going to call it an article is really blown out your theories about the Forget-Me-Not movie now, and I think it's quite normal for 13-year-olds to engage in sexual intercourse.
No, we talked about this in that script that like you basically at school, all the 13-year-olds were like, "No, yeah, I had sex," and you only worked out that they were lying when we were recording Forget-Me-Not a couple of years ago. You're like, oh shit, yeah, they were making that up, weren't they? Oh, I never realised that.
I didn't.
But no, you've got to brace yourself for the comment on this one because it says sexually open. I wouldn't like to go with. Oh, I'm going to try and read it as it's written. I wouldn't like to go with one of those prude thingies. All right, that's what it says. I wouldn't like to go with one of those prude thingies.
I wouldn't like to go with that one of those prude
that.
things.
It's just fine.
Because up to that point, I'd been dating nuns, so they're not really rubbish.
Also known as prude thingies. All right, number 9, sudden change of pace. A good conversationalist.
Ah.
And impressively, you've spelt conversationalist correctly,
Hooray!
unlike almost every other long word you've used. I wouldn't like someone who won't talk at all. That's saying you don't want someone dead again, isn't it?
Yeah.
And finally, number 10, similar interests. To talk about something interesting that we'd both like would be better than talking about something I don't like or she wouldn't like.
Yeah.
Brackets, i.e. Doctor Who.
Exactly, yeah. I was thinking, like, I've decided that talking about Doctor Who is interesting. Yes.
Yeah.
I was such an interesting person talking about Doctor Who. Yeah.
All right, now, a big challenge for you now, Howard. Would you like to guess
Oh, my God.
the score out of 20 that Mr. Cotton gave you for that amazing list of desirable qualities that he told you to do? I mean, assuming he took full responsibility for the horror that caused in your classroom.
It's not often that I'd be interested to see everyone else in the class's answers to this one, but I mean, it would be lovely if we could get hold of the books of everyone else. So if you're listening to this and you went to school with us...
No, not with us, because I never did this. Only your class did this, all right? So if you were in Howard's class, or possibly in another of Mr. Cotton's classes, because this might have been a thing he did every year, do send us your list if you... No one keeps their fucking school books like you did.
Parents keep things, though, don't they?
I guess so. If your child was in Mr. Cotton's class...
Yeah.
and you'd like us to contact the police about this...
If you're listening to this show and you're thinking, like when we talk about Covell and like Mr. Cotton, and you're thinking, I used to go to have a teacher called Mr. Cotton and lived in Covell, but it's probably...
Who made me do really disturbing things.
It's probably just a really normal name, and probably lots of places are called Covell. There's only one, and that's him. And so please do send us your pornographic description of your perfect partner that Mr. Cotton made you write.
So what score do you think he gave you out of 20 for that?
Well, he didn't like my too similar one that was too similar to something that happened much later.
Might have cost you a point?
I think it may have, yeah.
Remember, this is the third year, so you should have really cemented that 19 out of 20 by now.
Jesus. 19?
No!
18?
No!
17?
No!
16?
Yes!
Oh my
16!
God.
This is the lowest score I've ever seen. Even Mr. I think this is the last time he did this. This is when his eyes were opened to what a bad idea this was.
This is more proof that Mr. Glitter was the substitute that day.
Also, he's written a comment that's more detailed than usual. Because it's got 4 words in it.
I was expecting an actual sentence.
No, he says very little reasoning here. So that's what he was looking for in this horrifying exercise where he asked you to write down what qualities you want in a fucking wife, or however he would have put it in the 90s. He wants some impressive reasoning about why you want someone with a hot body. Who's not an idiot.
Yeah.
Who likes Doctor Who.
Yeah, Mr. Cotton was a 4-eyed baldy as well, just like you. Is that what 4-eyed baldies do for a living, is it? Become English teachers? Because that's what you did.
It is, it's the law.
Worst writer in the world. Worst writer in the world. Worst writer in the world. Worst writer in the world.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Worst Writer in the World. If you would like more audio entertainment by us, and video too, if you like it, then you can join our secret gang for as little as $2 a month, or you can join for $7 and get loads more.
Oh, it's a cracking bargain!
You've got choices, and the moment you sign up, you immediately get access to just the biggest back catalogue you've ever seen. You'll be like, oh, look at the size of that back catalogue.
I know, yeah.
Fucking enormous, that back. Oh, I like a big back catalogue, me, you'll say. Thanks for listening, everybody. Bye-bye, milk.
Bye, milk.
He's a stupid, suck-ass, rubbish writer. Yeah.